At the start of the film, we are introduced to a girl named Patricia, who arrives at a psychiatrist's clinic in a deeply disturbed and terrified state. Her behavior, her trembling voice, and the fear in her eyes make her seem completely unstable, yet she insists that she is not insane. She claims that she is trapped in something far more dangerous. According to her, a man named Kurt has taken control of her senses. Through her eyes, ears, and body, he can see, hear, and feel everything she experiences. And soon, he plans to take over her entire body, preparing it to transfer another soul into her. The doctor listens carefully but dismisses her words as nothing more than a delusion. To him, it sounds like a case of mental illness rather than reality. But the truth behind her words is far more horrifying than he could ever imagine. The story then shifts to another girl named Susie, who arrives in Berlin with dreams of joining a prestigious dance academy. However, she is immediately rejected because she has no formal dance training. After much persistence, the teachers reluctantly agree to give her a chance to perform. When Susie begins to dance, something extraordinary happens. Her performance is so powerful and flawless that it leaves everyone stunned, even those who have trained for decades. Among the audience is Miss Blanc, a world-renowned dancer who is deeply impressed by Susie's natural talent. Without hesitation, Susie is granted admission into the academy. Not only that, she is also offered accommodation inside the academy itself due to her exceptional performance. As Susie is taken to her room, she notices something strange. The room already contains belongings, as if someone had been living there and suddenly vanished. This detail raises a quiet sense of unease. Meanwhile, the teachers discuss among themselves and reveal a shocking truth. The room once belonged to Patricia, the same girl from the psychiatrist's clinic, who has been missing for the past 2 days. Through their conversation, an even darker secret is uncovered. This academy is not truly a dance academy. It is a cult. The women who run it are not teachers, but witches, and they had planned to perform a ritual on Patricia. However, Patricia failed their ritual, forcing them to search for a new candidate. This confirms that everything Patricia said earlier was not madness, but reality. Susie, however, remains completely unaware of this danger. The next day, Susie begins her dance training under Miss Blanc. During practice, another girl breaks down in tears, grieving over Patricia's disappearance. She reveals that Patricia had warned her before leaving, claiming that the teachers are not ordinary women, but witches. Hearing this, Susie begins to feel uneasy. But Miss Blanc quickly intervenes, dismissing these claims and instructing her assistant to remove the girl from the hall. Then, she approaches Susie in a strange and unsettling manner. She grabs Susie's hands and moves them in an unusual way, almost as if she is transferring something into her through a ring. After this, she asks Susie to continue dancing. Unaware of what is happening, Susie performs beautifully, but at the same time, something horrifying is taking place elsewhere. The girl who is about to expose the truth begins to suffer. As Susie dances, her movements somehow control the other girl's body. The girl's limbs twist unnaturally, her bones begin to break, and her body contorts in painful ways. By the time Susie finishes her performance, the girl is completely destroyed, her body broken beyond recognition. This moment confirms the horrifying truth. Miss Blanc and the women of the academy are indeed witches. Shortly after, more witches arrive and perform a ritual over the girl's body, causing her to breathe again in a strange and unnatural way. Instead of helping her, they use a hook-like tool to drag her away into a hidden chamber, keeping their dark secrets buried. Meanwhile, Susie begins experiencing disturbing dreams, filled with fear and confusion. Slowly, she starts to believe that the warnings were true. Determined to uncover the truth, she befriends another girl at the academy and begins investigating the strange events happening around her. At the same time, the psychiatrist who had met Patricia finds her diary. As he reads it, he discovers detailed information about the witches at the academy, including their names, their rituals, and their followers. The diary also reveals that these witches serve 3 ancient and powerful leaders who are still alive, making them far more dangerous than anyone could imagine. Realizing that Patricia was telling the truth, the doctor decides to inform the police. However, when the police arrive at the academy, they are unable to do anything. The witches manipulate and harass them, preventing any real investigation. Susie and her friends, who are secretly searching for clues, witness all of this while hiding nearby. At that moment, Susie fully realizes the terrifying truth. Everyone in the academy is part of something dark and unnatural. The next morning arrives, and life at the academy continues as usual, as if nothing ever happened. But beneath the routine, something far more sinister is unfolding, and Susie is now dangerously close to becoming a part of it. While Susie is dancing, she suddenly feels something strange, as if someone beneath the floor is touching her and trying to pull her down. At first, it feels like a nightmare, but soon we are shown the horrifying truth. There really is something beneath the floor, a terrifying entity with ancient, decaying hands reaching out from the darkness. It is revealed that this entity is Marcos, the oldest and most powerful witch. To survive, the witches have planned a ritual to transfer Marcos's soul into a young girl's body, giving her a new life. They had originally chosen Patricia for this ritual, but she escaped and exposed their secret. Now, their target has shifted to Susie. As days pass, her life inside the academy becomes more and more unbearable. She is haunted by disturbing dreams and terrifying visions that shake her to the core. We then learn that Miss Blanc is actually the one sending these visions. Unlike the others, she is a good witch who does not want Susie to become a part of the deadly ritual. Her intention is to scare Susie enough so that she leaves the academy and saves herself. One night, Susie becomes so overwhelmed by fear that she wakes up screaming, only to be comforted by her friend. Meanwhile, the police officers who had previously visited the academy return to the station, but something is wrong. They have completely forgotten everything that happened there. They do not even remember visiting the academy at all. It becomes clear that the witches have manipulated their minds to protect their secret. Back at the academy, Susie is deeply disturbed after discovering the truth, and because of this, she struggles to perform well during practice. Miss Blanc, who has grown attached to her, becomes upset seeing her like this. During a session, another dancer uses magic to transfer her own performance ability into Susie. As a result, Susie begins dancing perfectly, while the other girl collapses from exhaustion. At the same time, the psychiatrist continues his investigation using Patricia's diary. Through his research, he uncovers the history of these witches and realizes how dangerous they truly are. He then tries to convince one of the academy girls, Sarah, to help him uncover the truth and save the others. At first, Sarah refuses to believe him, but doubt begins to grow in her mind. Back at the academy, the witches gather and discuss how Patricia was not suitable for their ritual. They now need a new vessel to carry out their plan. During this meeting, something shocking happens. One of the witches suddenly takes her own life by slitting her throat, though the reason behind this remains unknown. Driven by curiosity and fear, Sarah decides to investigate the academy herself. While practicing, she discovers a hidden door behind a mirror. When she opens it, she finds a staircase leading down into a dark basement. As she descends, she hears eerie, chanting voices echoing through the space. It is the witches performing their rituals. Terrified but determined, she continues exploring and discovers various objects related to dark magic. Realizing the danger, she grabs a hook-like object for protection and tries to escape. The entire night becomes a nightmare for her as she hides in fear, barely managing to survive. The next morning, Sarah meets the doctor and confirms that everything he said was true. The academy is controlled by witches, but she still does not understand what they truly want. The doctor then reveals a chilling history. Centuries ago, 3 sisters discovered black magic and used it to gain immense power, wealth, and influence. Wherever they went, death followed, and their power only grew stronger. These witches lived for centuries and are believed to still exist in some form. They are known as the Mothers of Witches, the most powerful beings of their kind. Among them is Marcos, who is believed to be the strongest. The doctor explains that the witches at the academy consider Marcos their mother, and that is why they are willing to sacrifice innocent girls for her revival. However, not all witches agree with this plan. Miss Blanc stands apart, secretly opposing the ritual and trying to protect innocent lives. Some of the other witches also support her, creating tension within the group. After learning all this, Sarah returns to the academy and continues acting normal, hiding what she knows. Soon, the day arrives when the academy must perform a grand dance in front of the world. While everyone prepares for the performance, Sarah sees this as her chance to uncover more secrets. Quietly, she slips away, determined to expose the truth behind the academy once and for all. Sarah returns to the same hidden place she had discovered earlier, hoping to find answers and somehow reach Patricia. But when Patricia appears before her, the sight is horrifying. She looks aged beyond recognition, as if time itself has destroyed her, and the shock brings Sarah to tears. Before Sarah can react, she senses something terrifying approaching her. Panic takes over, and as she tries to escape, she falls badly. Her leg shatters in a brutal way, with the bone piercing through her skin, and the unbearable pain causes her to lose consciousness. Moments later, the witches arrive and take control of the situation. Using their dark powers, they hypnotize Sarah, heal her injuries, and completely erase her memory of what just happened. As if nothing ever occurred, Sarah wakes up and returns to join the others for the performance. During the dance, something feels deeply wrong. Sarah's face is completely blank, her movements controlled as if she is no longer acting on her own will. Her eyes turn an unnatural shade, and even Susie's eyes begin to change. The performance feels less like a dance and more like a ritual. As Sarah performs a heavy movement, her previously injured ankle gives out again, disrupting the entire performance. The witches react with fear, as if something important has gone terribly wrong. That night, Miss Blanc visits Susie. Without speaking a single word, they communicate through their minds. Miss Blanc reveals the truth, telling Susie that she was brought here for a specific purpose. Susie calmly responds, indicating that she already understands most of it. With genuine concern, Miss Blanc tells her that she does not want her to be a part of the dark ritual and promises to do everything in her power to save her. After this silent exchange, Miss Blanc leaves. Meanwhile, the doctor is shown walking alone when something impossible happens. His deceased wife suddenly appears before him. Confused and emotional, he follows her, and she leads him directly to the academy. It is revealed that this is not real, but a trick created by the witches to bring him there. They need a witness for their ritual, and they have chosen him because of his age. They believe that even if he survives, no one will believe his story, assuming it to be the ramblings of an old man. Soon, the scene shifts to the hidden ritual chamber deep within the academy. There, Marcos is finally revealed in her true form. She looks grotesque and unnatural, her body aged beyond recognition, with strange lenses replacing her eyes. She no longer appears human, but something far more horrifying. Around her, the witches stand naked, performing the ritual as the girls begin to dance. Among them are Patricia, Sarah, and another victim, all completely under the witches' control. During the ritual, one of the girls is brutally cut open, her blood flowing freely, yet she shows no reaction, completely lifeless in her obedience. It becomes clear that the ritual is meant for Susie, as Marcos plans to transfer her soul into Susie's body. Miss Blanc desperately tries to stop this, repeatedly asking Susie if she is truly ready. Susie calmly responds yes each time, as if she fully understands what is happening. Miss Blanc gives her one final chance, saying the ritual can still be stopped if she refuses. But Marcos, enraged by this interference, attacks Miss Blanc from behind and nearly severs her head. With nothing left to stop her, Marcos approaches Susie and commands her to close her eyes and accept her. As the ritual reaches its climax, something unexpected happens. A terrifying entity suddenly appears in the chamber. The witches immediately recognize it as death itself. To their shock, death bows before Susie. Confused and frightened, Marcos demands to know who Susie really is. In that moment, the biggest truth is revealed. Susie is not a victim. She is Susperia herself, the true mother of witches, whose name Marcos had been falsely using for years. Because of this betrayal, Marcos was never meant to survive. With the power of death by her side, Susperia begins to eliminate Marcos and all the evil witches one by one. In a chilling moment, she reveals her true form by opening her chest, showing her dark and terrifying nature. Despite her power, she is not cruel. She carries a sense of mercy within her. She ends the suffering of the girls who had been tortured in the ritual, freeing them from their unbearable pain. With Marcos and her followers gone, the evil that plagued the academy is finally destroyed. The next morning, the academy feels completely different. It is peaceful, calm, and filled with a sense of purity, as if a heavy darkness has been lifted. Finally, Susie, now fully revealed as Susperia, visits the doctor. She apologizes for the pain caused by manipulating his memories of his wife, reminding him that she is truly gone. To free him from further suffering, she gently erases his memories, allowing him to live the rest of his life in peace. And with that, the story comes to an end.